Japanese officially are done with Ubisoft's disrespect of their culture. Uh, like it's pretty obvious that they're so fucking done with them because they just like don't care. They constantly mix Chinese and fucking Japanese culture, like like legitimately like some of the fucking characters in the fucking game is looks Chinese, legitimately.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So, what I'm about to say may shock you, but today we're going to be reporting on some more
Really?
bad news for Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, this has been a devastating project for Ubisoft. Months and months of bad PR, mainly due to their own mistakes and lack of concern for Japanese history and culture. But today we have three more examples
Hmm?
of pure disaster
What?
for this game. Disaster striking with less than
What's
a
this? Huh?
week
Wait, what?
until the release of this
What
game
happened?
in a
I actually
time
don't know
where
what happened.
obviously they don't need this. So there's going to be three different things we're looking at. Number one, beginning with the usual, right? More people
Okay.
mocking their pathetic
Eh,
attempts to promote this game. And second
understandable.
and third are pretty much the same. They involve official action towards Ubisoft and this game. We're going to see some shareholders threatening to protest, demanding answers from Ubisoft given the
Oh no,
turbulent nature of the company right now.
the
And then we're going to be
shareholders.
looking at some comments out of Japan where several priests and also shrine heads are now demanding action against this
Oh no, religion is actually like coming after fucking Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft.
game because they believe there are racist and disrespectful elements of it.
Oh, so I didn't know that. Like, bitch, it's pretty obvious that Assassin's Creed Shadows was super racist. They constantly mix Chinese and fucking Japanese culture. Not constantly, but some depictions are like more
But
Chinese
first,
than
let's begin
than
with the,
Japanese.
of course, shareholder news. So, angry shareholders call for protest against Ubisoft, accuses
Oh
Assassin's Creed
shit!
Shadows Studio of being horribly mismanaged and hiding information
From
from investors.
investors.
Who would have
Oh
thought that would happen at Ubisoft? I mean, it kind of adds up, right?
yeah.
One of the initial things we saw about a year and a half ago was a report that they made to their shareholders saying that Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows were going to be the big hits of
That was the most biggest line if I could say. It said like Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, that fucking flop, dude.
2024. We know how Outlaws went. That was a
Yeah,
disaster. And then we, of course, have the delay, the two different delays of Shadows,
Shadows.
which is finally approaching now. So it's not too surprising
Oh
there's
no.
issues here. But let's read. So it says the shareholders are revolting. With their market value falling at the speed of Assassin's Creed Swan Dive over the past year, Ubisoft executives have likely had both interpretations of that statement flash across their mind over the last few years, but now it looks like one shareholder is moving to make that statement
Oh.
more than just a
Oh
hypothetical.
no.
According to a new report,
They're
AJ
fucked.
Investments CEO, not even going to try to pronounce that, whose company
Oh.
owns a minority stake in the French developer, is reportedly calling for his fellow investors to join him in an
Oh.
upcoming physical protest.
Oh, they're going there physically. Not even like, oh, we're gonna like put a fucking face and like just protest to like give like people know like, oh, this is what we're doing. Like they're just like, oh yeah, we don't like this. So we're actually going to physically protest now.
Outside Ubisoft Paris
Oh
headquarters.
shit.
In an official company statement, as seen and relayed to the public by IGN, they are condemning Ubisoft as being horribly mismanaged by current management, in doing so,
Oh
demanding that the company's leadership both provide them with a clear roadmap for recovery and address their declining
yeah.
shareholder value, lackluster operational execution, and failure to adapt effectively to market trends. I think those are very fair demands. And notice, it's not a clear roadmap for a profit, it's for recovery.
Yeah, it's just
That is how
recovery.
bad things are at Ubisoft.
They're
That
recover like they're not trying to like, oh, make money. They're just like, oh, we're trying to recover. Okay, like okay, we're trying to recover. We're not making money right now. We're just like making games to recover our fucking assets because bitch, they're not making money.
Even the shareholders and the investors are saying, please just get us going in the right direction. That's all we
True.
can ask for at this point. That is a very bad sign. But when you have physical protests being threatened, this is not a very
You.
good look. And again, the turbulent nature of this company and the direction it's going and who's even going to own it is really up for
Yeah.
grabs at this point.
Just fuck to
But
sell
of
Ubisoft.
course, Ubisoft is not stopping.
Oh
They're
my
still
god.
promoting this game. This was the latest official post from their Ubisoft Twitter account saying only 1 week away. And despite 10,000 likes, you'd be hard pressed to find pretty much any positive comments in the replies.
Yeah,
This is
no.
just random ones in a row. A stream plug. This one's saying, I know, right? Xenoblade X is going to be so fun to play again. Gamers reject your Johnny Somali simulator. Oh my
Oh
god.
god, Johnny's on Molly Simulator. Oh my god.
No positive replies in the comments detected. This game is going to flop so hard it's going to
Yeah.
be record breaking. When this game tanks, and it will, remember that you have nobody to blame but yourselves. I can't
Yeah.
wait to play it.
Like you have a lot of opportunities to just fucking not release the game and not advertise it as fucking historical actual historical narrative. Just make it like it's historical fiction. Because that's how Assassin's Creed was made years ago.
Black immigrant who slaughters the locals. Any good games coming out in a week, though, and yada, yada, yada.
Nah.
Obviously, people are very unhappy with this game. And as I've always said, they're going to sell millions of copies. It's just a guarantee
Yeah.
that
Just the
it's too
millions.
hard to rig this. It's an Assassin's
Yeah, they're gonna sell millions of copies for people who don't know, but they will also probably receive a lot of refunds if like if they bought this game and okay, it's not working well and that it wasn't what they expected. They probably lots of refunds. Just like try it out, then refunds it instantly after.
Creed title. A lot of people are going to buy it no matter what. But it's an
Yeah.
idea here that they're not going to succeed at the level they could have
Mhm.
if they did any semblance of a good job on this game. I mean, what a home run this is. Assassin's Creed in a Japanese setting.
Yeah, that would
This
be
was
fucking sick.
tailor made for easy success. But
Yeah, because
now
it's Assassin's Creed. You literally have shinobis in fucking Japan. They're ninjas. And you fucked it up. You fucked it up so much. They have a lot of history based on fucking like not ninja, more like reconnaissance and shit. Like you could have made that kind of fucking story, but no. Let's make it about a fucking black samurai that doesn't exist, only exists in a small part of Japan, like tiny part of Japanese history that he wasn't even a samurai, but just apparently a retainer, and they made a whole story about that, and not the the big history of fucking Japanese ninjas and shinobis and kunoichis.
it's up in the air. It's a matter of how much did they cripple themselves by all the misdeeds they've done with this game and how many people they've offended. And now, basically, they have to put all of their effort into this game because if this flops, they might be done. That's the current
Yeah,
state
they're
of
done.
Ubisoft. Now, a lot of people look at this stuff, right, and they go, oh, it's only Westerners who are angry about this game. There's a
Oh no,
big amount of
a lot
gaslighting
of
where they're
people.
saying, oh, the Japanese love this game.
No, they
It's
don't.
all just forced
No, they
Western
don't. They
hatred
hate
trying
it.
to speak on the behalf of Japanese. Well, if the trailers on Ubisoft Japan's account
400
weren't
likes,
enough, there's
78
plenty of
dislikes.
anecdotal evidence. I mean,
Oh
people will look
no.
at you, these activists, and they'll say, no, this trailer doesn't reflect a negative sentiment
It's
among
so
Japanese
negative.
gamers. With 400 likes and 17,000 dislikes,
Oh
they'll
no.
tell you this is a bunch of Westerners brigading this on their burner accounts, essentially. Like, this is insane.
Like if it's a grade, it should have a lot more likes. No, no. If Japanese people like it, like it would have a bigger like ratio or like to dislike ratio, right? Like if only 420 Japanese people liked it and like 70k white like Westerners disliked it, like it still means that no one like Japanese people doesn't like it because like the like only 420 people like fucking Assassin's Creed Jedi. It's still a flop,
Like I've said before, with this
and
round
it's 6 months ago. 140k views and 420 likes. That's sad.
of promotion on their Ubisoft Japan account for Assassin's Creed Shadows, there's a lot of apathy. People just aren't interested. Not only do
Yeah.
they hate what they see, there's not even that many
It,
people checking it out to begin with. A historic fumble with this game. They could have made this a huge appeal to Japan, and they absolutely ruined it, and they have no one to blame but themselves. But there's been a long line of controversy surrounding this game, and in particular, Japanese culture and history. I mean, we had the rewriting of Yasuke's history based
yeah.
on Thomas Lockley's fan fiction that he promoted himself on Wikipedia. You have the Chinese architecture mistakes. You also have the one-leg Torii Gate
Oh my god.
controversy. You have people, there was accusation they were stealing logos and art from Japanese sources. There was also the fact that
Yeah.
this latest release
They're
date, March
probably thinking that no Japanese person actually will actually be like go in depth with the fucking like game design and just like okay, like they're not Westerners, they're not that like okay. They will not can try to cancel us because they're kind and respectful people. They won't try to fucking like cancel us, right? Like if you disrespect a fucking group of people, they will get angry and not fucking buy your shit.
20th is the anniversary of the sarin nerve gas attack on the Japanese subway. So there's a lot that people in Japan are upset about, and just overall the amount of historical inaccuracies and things like that. But this is one thing that is a little bit different and getting a lot of attention right now. So Assassin's Creed Shadows faces backlash in Japan over shrine depiction. Politicians and temple priests blast Ubisoft for
True.
cultural disrespect. Now, what they're referring to here is clips like this that have been going
Oh my
around where
god.
basically you can walk into a shrine that's based on a real life counterpart and just
That's so
destroy it. And
okay.
the fact that Yasuke is doing it is something that also pissed people off. Now, this is interesting because some people want to say, look, you're controlling the character, you're the one
Yeah.
destroying the shrine, not Ubisoft. Which is interesting
But
because
they
it was
made it
Ubisoft's
destructible.
decision to allow you to do that, and
Yeah.
that's what's offending people in Japan. You know, you might think it's not offensive, but the target demographic here, the people who are being represented with this,
If you made like an Islam like something like a like the fucking big I forgot like the big like rock that like Muslims go to and like pray to and like touch. If they made people break that in game, they will get angry because that's their religion. They will it it it's a sign of disrespect. You disrespected a big part of the religion, like the black stone that like people like go touch and like pray to. I think if you destroy that in game, you will have a huge backlash. Any religious figure from like Islamic religion, anything that or destroy a mosque in game, people would fucking be huge backlash of that because like okay, like you won't do that because it's like Islam. Like it's a big part of like because like you're scared that they would have like a big backlash because like okay, but you probably did this to Japanese culture because like oh they won't do anything. They're shy and timid people. They won't fucking like do anything about us disrespecting their culture. Like bitch, if you disrespect someone's culture, no matter how fucking timid they are, like how respectful their culture is, they will still get angry at you.
they are offended. And there's plenty of people offended. And again, with all these activists on social media, they're saying, no, all these people saying Japan's offended by this, they're making it up. Well, it's definitely not the case because now Japanese officials are condemning the shrine depiction. So we can see here in the video, the Hyugo Prefecture Assembly member Nagase Takashi, along with Shinto shrine officials, spoke out against Assassin's Creed Shadows for using Harima. No, again, I'm not going to embarrass myself with these pronunciations. In Himiji as a setting in the game. According to them, the game portrays the shrine in a highly disrespectful manner, showing the protagonist Yasuke entering the sacred site with shoes on, drawing his sword, and committing destructive acts. Now, this is based on a YouTube video where you can see there's an official statement.
If you do that in a mosque and destroying, killing Muslim praying on the mosque and like destroying their fucking mosque, I wonder what would you think would happen? Would you think, oh, it's just a game? Like Muslims said, oh, Muslim people will say, oh, it's just a game. They'll probably get angry too. Like, bitch. Like, it's a big part of their culture. Like, bitch, if you fucking disrespect it, people will get angry. Like, bitch. Legitimately, if you burn a trans flag on in-game, there's a trans flag in-game, you burn it and fucking rip it apart, I 100% sure that Twitter would fucking go ballistic and say you're fucking transphobic. This game is transphobic, homophobic, and they will fucking spell out every phobe in the book to fucking cancel this game. 100% sure. They're just
from the Hyogo Prefectural Assembly here. This is a member of that. And he is interviewing some people who are heads and priests at these various shrines and getting their opinion on this. But first, let's listen to what this member has to say.
通りすがりのですね、神主さんを切りつけたり、お社に向かって意味なく弓を射かけたりとですね、大変傍若無人な振る舞いをします。そして実在する寺社仏閣の中で特に今回問題になりましたのが、姫路市にあります播磨の国総社板手氷津神社の、拝殿本殿がですね、実際これ主人公が活躍する舞台として描かれています。土足で上がり込んで抜刀し、老石の限りを尽くしてですね、鏡を破壊したり、もうすごい。
These things are beyond outrageous. They can't believe their eyes. It's an insult to Japanese gods.
Yeah.
And as he clarifies, it's not okay just 'cause it's a video game. And again, as always, some people say, well, it's just a video game and we don't feel offended. Well, the people having their shrine depicted, they are offended. And this is another example.
If you burn a trans flag or a fucking LGBT flag, the LGBT people will get offended. Yes, surprisingly, if you fucking disrespect a group of people's fucking important, like something important about like their fucking like culture or fucking like, group, maybe those fucking groups of people will get angry. Surprisingly, whoa, like that's a fucking big revelation.
Of Ubisoft not paying attention to the culture and ignoring people who are complaining about their misdeeds and misrepresentations and offensive content that they're producing.
権利というものはたわごとです。不快感があるのならば、許せないのならば、そのことはしっかりと伝える必要がある。これからたくさんの外国の人とお付き合いをして、インバウンドの観光客を増やすいいことばっかりではありません。こういうことはダメなんだということを、やっぱり国も 我々地方議員も、そして何よりも国会議員たちは言っていく必
He's
要があるし、
calling to members of Congress to take this up and take it up as a matter of pride.
Just
Obviously, he, like many others, are not happy.
Like, take action. Don't, because banning it just like like I do think like banning it would be fucking good. Banning it and letting like people know that Japan doesn't like take fucking disrespect of their culture lightly. I don't know how to fucking fix that.
But now we're gonna hear
actually
from some of the people involved in these shrines, including this chief priest of one of the shrines here. Let's hear how he views this situation. If they saw these images, they would be distraught and feel really sad. The shrine goers, the regular ones.
Yeah. Also, it's so fucking dumb.
まあそういうもう率直なですね。
They fucked up so bad.
お怒りというか。
I mean, they're angry. They're legitimately angry about it.
They're so fucking like brain dead. Oh my god, Ubisoft is so fucking brain dead. Oh my god.
ちゃんと受け止めてですね、国へも伝えないといけないし、
And they want to convey to the government.
またこの動画を見る様々な
To people who won't understand where they're coming from.
思ってるんですけ
That
ど
this isn't okay. Is
これ
basically
か
what
ら
he's
も
saying.
ずっと変わらずにこの伊達表示神社皆様に愛されながらこれからも続いていくわけですが、まあ、今回のことが変な形で
If that happens to my culture, I would also be pissed. Like, bitch. If you respect a certain people's culture like this, that would be fucking sad.
Saying they're behaving rudely and ignorantly while pretending to understand Japan. That's kind of like the most offensive part, right? Like, not only are they doing these things that are coming off in a way that's offending people in Japan, but they're acting like they're these great researchers who put so much love into this and that they're doing such a great service for Japan, when in reality, they didn't do enough research, they didn't do enough time trying to understand the culture, and they ended up offending people in Japan instead. But there's one more person who was interviewed. This is a head of a different shrine, and he was asked, basically, how do you think this happened? And he talks about how people, I guess, from Ubisoft, in particular their French division, basically doesn't have any understanding or respect for Japanese culture. Unconsciously discriminate against other races in their minds.
The bigger the internet is, the more people, like, you won't know this back then because, like, okay, like, because internet's not thing, like, you cannot type and like release things that the world can see. But the moment everyone can see what you're fucking doing, the moment you see the fucking cracks of their fucking cult, like their beliefs, they might say, oh, we're not racist or fucking like, we're not disrespecting or not looking down on cultures, like, and then what they fucking reproducing in their media and fucking like, their media are like, okay, that's kind of fucked up. Like, it's racially discriminating, like, not racially profiling, like just respecting other people's culture because, like, okay, we don't know much, so we just like, oh, make fun of it. And they're probably like not the person, oh, it's not like discrimination, just like, okay, it's just a funny haha, and they're unconsciously doing it.
They say good things superficially, but deep down, I've come to think more like there might be some kind of racism.
Yeah, they're fucking racist.
That's how bad it's getting. They think that this might be some kind of coded racism that they don't even realize they're doing.
Yeah. True. That's probably true.
どこまでその向こうが意図があってやってるのか、はいまあ、意図がなくても結果的に、まあ、こんなことになってるというところはちょっときちっとしていただきたい。
Once again, calling for some sort of a government action and condemnation of what's going on here. I'll put a link to this video in the description. It's pretty interesting, but yeah, you get the vibe, right? These people at these shrines, they are very offended by what they're seeing, and it's not okay to them. And again, you might view this differently, but you're not the one whose shrine is being depicted in this way in Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah.
And if Ubisoft is even pretending to care about this stuff, they would at least acknowledge it. And it doesn't seem like that's something that they're going to do whatsoever.
No, they're not going to do that shit.
Things are also getting a little more interesting because, well, people are comparing this to previous statements made by people on the team. The executive producer back a year ago said that Elon Musk is feeding hatred with his reaction to the game's black protagonist. So they're trying to say that people like Elon Musk are fueling hatred because of their questions about the choice of Yasuke as the main character. But they don't really seem to care when people from Japan are saying things that...
True. They don't want any opinion of Japanese people because, okay, they have the right to fucking criticize us, but we won't talk about it because maybe we don't agree. But when a white person says it, oh, they're racist. There's an agenda from what he said, and he might be racist. But when a Japanese person say it, oh, that's bad. Let's not fucking talk about it because because that's the fucking crack. The cracks are fucking showing. They don't want to fucking like talk about what Japanese people actually think, because if everyone knows what Japanese people think, no one would gonna buy that fucking shit.
Contradict the goals and the intended goodwill of Ubisoft. And if they don't address what's going on with the Shrine thing, I think it's a really bad indictment of Ubisoft. And I don't really think they're going to. There's less than a week until release. They're probably just going to bury their heads in the sand and just hope this blows over. But one last thing before we go here. I saw a funny interaction I think you guys will enjoy. It has to do a lot with the people trying to say that every person who's complaining about this game is just some dude who lives in Ohio and has never done anything to appreciate Japanese culture outside of probably watching anime or something. But you have this individual here saying, Assassin's Creed fans, I can't wait to play this video game set in feudal Japan. Me, I don't think what Ubisoft produced is a good representation of feudal Japan. Assassin's Creed fans, shut up, weeb. And then you have this individual posting the previous user's profile picture saying, okay, Mr. Clean LARPing. And he would quote by saying, cool pic.
That's a sport, right? Like, yeah.
I chose it myself. I don't LARP. I'm wearing the martial arts uniform I'm obliged to wear when I practice Aikido. I've been training in Japan since 2006. Wow. So this guy actually...
he lives in Japan.
Walks the walk, right?
Yeah.
And you can see 49,000 likes. That is a brutal ratio.
He's actually in fucking Japan.
This guy picked the wrong one, unfortunately. But yeah.
He's actually in Japan doing shit. And he knows actual Japanese culture. He's not the fucking person who's a weeb in Ohio. He's just fucking type on his keyboard. He's actually a person in Japan that knows the culture there.
Also, to point out one last thing here, Steam version of Assassin's Creed Shadows does not require the use of Ubisoft Connect, which is a very good thing, but also at this point, it's just too late. They're trying to generate as much goodwill as they can.
Oh my god, they're trying to fucking... try to remove the fucking shitty shit that they fucking made. And said, oh, we're not using it in fucking Shadows because like, it's gonna be a fucking great game. Because they know that if they fucking put that shit there, no one's gonna buy that. Their sales gonna fucking plummet to the fucking ground. More than it's already plummeting.
Final moments, but it's just too little, too late with this entire game. Okay, this was again a golden opportunity for Ubisoft to make a lot of money. And they're gonna make money on this, but is it gonna be enough to keep moving to the next project? Because the way it looks, if this game is not a slam dunk, the lights might be turning off for Ubisoft, and they have nobody to blame but themselves. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
They need to fucking change management and fucking Ubisoft. They need to fire the people that had the fucking idea of fucking Assassin's Creed Shadows, remove all the fucking like people who think that was fucking like good idea to do that shit.